What made typing Commodore 60 for game code from magazines so hard? Imagine sitting in front of your old computer, eager to play a new game, but first you have to type in hundreds of lines of code from a magazine. That was a common scene in the 1980s. People loved the thrill of getting new games this way, but it was not easy at all. The first big problem was the length of the code. Magazine listings could stretch for many pages, sometimes over 100 lines long. Every line had to be entered exactly as it appeared, with no mistakes. One wrong number or letter could make the whole program stop working. Finding that mistake was often a long process, taking hours of checking and rechecking. Another tricky part was how the code was printed. Magazines used shortcuts to save space. Instead of typing the full word print, they might just use a question mark. These shortcuts could confuse beginners because they had to remember what each symbol meant. The Commodore 64 used a special character set called PETSCI, which included symbols and graphics not always matching what was shown in the magazine. If you typed the wrong symbol, the program might not run, or it could show strange shapes on the screen. Typing itself was also a challenge. The Commodore 64 keyboard was not the most comfortable, and long strings of numbers or symbols were easy to mistype. Some listings included data for graphics or sound, which meant entering long sequences of numbers. Checking these sequences for accuracy was tough. Magazines sometimes had typos or errors in their listings. If a line was printed wrong, the program would not work no matter how carefully you typed it. You had to figure out the mistake yourself, often by comparing the code to the game's description or trying different things. There were no automatic error checks or instant downloads back then. It was just you, the magazine, and the computer. Another challenge was the size of the code lines. Many listings were designed for an 80-column screen, but the Commodore 64 only had a 40-column display. Long lines would wrap around, making them hard to read and type correctly. You had to break up long lines or adjust the code to fit, which added more difficulty. Despite all these hurdles, typing in code from magazines was a big part of the home computer experience in the 1980s. It taught patience, attention to detail, and problem-solving skills. Many who grew up with the Commodore 64 remember these moments as a mix of frustration and fun. It was a real taste of what it was like to be part of the early days of home computing.